Welcome to the Real Tech Housewives of Denver. I'm your ghost, Matty host, along with my boy Parmajawn. Together we are Thatz Hot.
You just call yourself Matty host?
What's up, because I'm the ghost. We have a very special episode for you today. Everybody, please give a round of applause for our boy Vinnie.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's hot.
Thank you for the invite. I'm grateful to be here.
Yes,
welcome to the Thatz Hot headquarters.
Dude, you guys got a dope setup here, man. I really like it.
Thank you. It's a full blown
It's our pride and joy.
Dungeon down here.
Like when it's nice and sunny out.
Did you see our
I just
Scooby
like
picture
to be down here? You know,
Our Scooby picture there too.
Oh, that's you, Scooby. Look,
Scooby.
look, Scooby. That's you right there.
He likes sniffing the mics.
Admiral Scooby.
I don't know why. Lay down, Scoobs. Do I have to play your theme song? Scooby.
He doesn't have phones on.
He
Man.
just met me. He doesn't know. He's like, is this cool? Is this dude chill?
He already trusts you.
What's up, buddy?
He'd bury a body for you, dude.
What's up, buddy?
Vinny, you're hot off some huge shows, some huge releases. We can everyone go stream Nah right now. Scooby, leave him alone. He smells your dog.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, he does.
Everyone go stream Nah right now on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere it is.
Stream it. Nah. Vinnie Maniscalco. It's out everywhere.
Get the hats, get the shirts.
Yes,
We're
hats,
out.
shirts, mug. We tried mugs. We now have patches.
Nah
Gandhi
mugs.
You can cover up anything yay with a nah patch.
Whoa.
Oh, that's good marketing right there. I am also
Wait,
fully supportive of that statement. Yeah.
Wait, you guys just got onto that?
No, that you were.
Is that like no? I just caught on to that. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Wow.
Wait,
yeah,
Kanye's
love it.
canceled?
I mean,
No, I'm
okay.
joking. I'm
I
joking.
was like,
He burnt his Yeezys, dude.
yeah, I know. I saw
I
it.
did,
And it was
actually.
pretty funny. We watched the video when Kevin was on the podcast, and he's like, I bought him those Yeezys.
yeah.
We watched it all together. He's like, oh man, I bought him those.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, Kev did buy those Yeezys for me. He didn't buy them for me. I mean, he acquired them for me.
Yeah, he found it. He's kind of like
He was the middleman.
he's the shoe black market dude.
Yeah, Kev was the plug on those for
I
sure.
didn't know Kev was a sneakerhead.
He
like
is,
that.
dude. He's
He
got the
definitely is.
cleanest shoes all the time.
Yeah, he definitely is.
But we're not here to talk about our good man Visional. We're here to talk about Vinny.
Yeah, no, shout out Kev. That's one of my best friends. Like, we grew up together. I mean,
Huge friend of the show.
I've known him since like high school. He's one of my oldest friends.
Are you from Denver?
Yeah, well, we grew up north, like
Strasburg?
my parents lived in Broomfield, and his parents lived up in that area too. I don't know if they were technically in Broomfield, but yeah, we all
Nice.
kind of grew up in
Hell
that.
yeah, dude.
Did you guys get into music together?
We didn't. Yeah, we definitely did. We didn't get into music though until like later on. I mean, when we were friends, music wasn't really in the picture. I mean, I was always kind of into
Just banging
music.
girls and going out.
I mean, I was always into music as a kid, and I think he was too. But no, we didn't start doing music together until our college years. Yeah.
How did you stumble on the path of EDM? Because you're an
Oh,
OG,
wow.
bro. People that watch this, you were back in the day. Like,
OG SoundCloud gang, dude. OG
gang.
SoundCloud gang.
Probably, you've definitely heard his music. I'll just say that.
I mean, yeah, it's
If
funny.
you had Vine, bro, you heard that shit.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that, man, because you said the word OG, but you know, I kind of have like a pet peeve with people overusing the word legend. I don't know if you've ever known somebody like that, but
Legend,
dude.
what's up?
You're a legend,
he's a
bro.
legend.
I know that person
Legendary.
every time I look in the mirror and I'm like, legend.
I saw like 50 of that guy at Larimer Lounge on Saturday night.
Dude, you're a legend. I overuse the word
then I
legend a
saw-
lot. Look at every description for a podcast. Like this legend stopped by.
I mean, it's a great word. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I mean,
You got to save it for the real legends, though.
well, yeah, I mean, I have like. I've been called a legend before for
But you
sure.
are.
And you just call me an OG. And I mean, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words.
I
but
didn't mean to Legend you.
No. No, I mean, I guess I just have like a super high standard for what it means to be like a legend per se. But
Totally, dude.
But no, okay. So
Legend-ish.
So you asked me about how I got into electronic music, and yeah, definitely. We originally started, Kevin and I, when we were in college, and a bunch of other people, RJ too. Originally, I had started a blog. It was called gotbassmusic.com. And we were blog friends with This Song Is Sick and Danny Deal and
Bloghouse days.
Yeah, a bunch of people. This was back in the day when like the Hype Machine was, the blog aggregator.
I forgot about the Hype Machine.
Oh my god, dude! It used to be so awesome.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, it was so sick. It was such a great way.
Yeah, I started off my DJ career just scraping Hype Machine.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was how I discovered a lot of music actually back then, was on the Hype Machine, and a lot of it was all EDM stuff. There was a lot of bootleg remixes back then because back then like music was just the wild west. You could bootleg remix anything and just kind of throw it up, and everybody was collecting MP3s like people used to collect tapes or vinyls back in the day,
Yeah, and for years at that point too, because there was like there were other what was the fucking like MP3 like Gorilla or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I still use that for all of my songs.
Yeah, and I mean, even before that, I mean, like when I was in middle school, I want to say I used to I like convinced my mom, because my dad was always into computers like really hard. He always brought computers home from work, and he would let me mess with them.
It explains your PC so much, dude.
Yeah, dude. The first time when I walked into the bass block garage and I saw that computer, I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, is Ninja here playing Fortnite?
Yeah, that PC is my pride and joy.
Dude, so
I'm always upgrading it, always working on it. And that definitely comes from my dad, because like I said, he always used to bring home computers from work, and they would be like, these office Dell computers, and, I would want to play games on them and stuff like that. So I had no choice but to upgrade the video cards and the RAM and the hard drive and all that, so that it could actually be like functional to play like the latest game or whatever it was.
You're like the meme. You went in, son, and the kid's on the computer. like full blown that, dude.
Yeah. And so anyways, this was back like when I was in middle school. That was when Napster was around. And
when Metallica was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Inter lawyer.
Yeah.
Interlitigation, dude.
Interlitigation, man.
Don't I'ma sue. Don't I'ma sue you owned. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Skrillex.
Oh, I love the Skrillex sample too. Great choice.
Yonk.
Yeah, I love it. Do it again.
When we did it with Visional, he was like, "Was that Skrillex?
Is that Skrillex?"
Yeah, Lamborghini Mercy.
Yeah. I had to get the yonk.
Oh, fuck yeah. So anyways, yeah, so back then I remember Costco used to sell 100-pack of CDRs. And I had saved up my money. I don't remember how much it was.
Like a burner?
Yeah, so I had a CD burner in the computer. And what I would do is I would download all kinds of music off of Napster, and then I would go to class the next day, and I would take requests from people at school. I would say, okay, write down your top 15, 20 songs that you love right now that you hear on the radio that you want. I'll burn it for you on a CD and give me $5.
Damn.
You were slanging mixtapes. That's so tight.
You're such a hustler, bro. I
Back
love
in the
it.
day when CDJs still use CDs too.
He had like a trench coat that he would open up and there'd be a bunch of CDs in it. What do you want? I got the Strokes. I got the new Eminem.
I got American Idiot fresh off the press.
Do you want it right now?
That was totally me as a kid, man. And,
That is hilarious, dude.
and even my teachers, man, a couple of my teachers were like, hey, can you burn one of those? And
I heard the
can't
new
tell
ABBA
anybody,
album's
though.
out.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to do this right now. I'm like, yeah, I got you.
I got you.
Yeah.
Like, no money, just make
Am I
sure
gonna
get an
pass?
A. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and my dad was a drummer, so I was always, going to his concerts and all that.
What kind of band? Like a rock?
So originally my dad recorded the first cassette tape with the jazz band Dot Zero. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're from Colorado.
Okay,
Their name used to be New Shoes, I think it was.
Oh, like
Right, but no. But see, what happened was that band had like a Billboard hit record, and my dad's band got a cease and desist letter.
Oh,
so they,
shit.
Yeah, so they had to change their name. They had no idea.
The wrong new shoes blew up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm
call it newer shoes or like
newer shoes. Yeah, exactly.
Refurbished
Fresh,
boots.
just like fresh kicks.
Fresh kicks, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to like naming things and branding, you know, like that's where I get it from my dad. I've always kind of struggled with like naming songs and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I named my project files the most ridiculous shit ever.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to find a song. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
Yeah.
If you go to our hard drive, it's like I want to fart 04. Like the word.
literally,
What was
it's
that
like
song
the dumbest
called?
shit you
dude?
can imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, as I get older, you know, I've recognized that that's like one of the things that one of my biggest challenges was, and you know, as I get older, I'm like learning that like, you know, the naming of things and the artwork of the music and like the branding, like these products and everything is like, there's so much more to music than just making a record or in my case, a bootleg remix.
That's why you're on our podcast
Especially
right
if you want, especially if you want to make a living doing music too. Like nobody wants to talk about that because you know we're artists and everything like that.
Right,
but
right.
I'm also at the point where like I need to this is what I want to do with my life, you know,
100%.
and I want to be able to just do that at all times. So I'm gonna do what is necessary to
now.
do
I
that
can't
and make
eat
sure-
exposure for breakfast.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
cannot.
I've seen that meme.
Really? I thought I just made that up.
Oh, I've seen a meme like it for sure.
Yeah, it's because it's so prevalent, though. You know.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, you know, this is awesome that you guys have the Real Tech House, or
It's the Real Tech Housewives of Denver.
the Real Tech Housewives of Denver. Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, how'd you come up with that name?
Parm wanted to,
I got high with this one time and thought of it, and I texted it to Matty and CJ, and they were like, "That is the dumbest fucking idea we've ever heard in our lives." And then like a couple months later, Matty was like about to move in. He's like, "Dude, we should do a podcast, bro."
I love it.
his
And I was
idea
like-
was the Real Tech Housewives of Denver as like a sketch.
As like a sketch, like
Oh, you
like
guys are gonna do a video.
like, yeah, like kind of like the Real Bros of like Simi Valley sort of thing,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
scripted kind of like bullshit, but. Podcast is way easier.
Oh,
yeah,
but the
dude.
name,
And way better too. I love that you guys decided to do the podcast because
Yeah.
this is so dope what you guys have done, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you always commenting and subscribing, and everyone should subscribe and comment too.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
really love us,
And-
leave a review.
Yeah, clip this. Actually, you should clip this and put it in the intro because that's going to be better. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, guys, if you haven't already.
We need to
Thank
get
you
on
for the
that.
sub. Thank you for the subscribe.
Is that the new one? The new Apple Watch?
This is the new Apple Watch. Yeah.
Oh
This
damn,
is,
it's bigger.
this is the Apple Watch Ultra.
I don't have mine on.
Vinny has all the gadgets, bro.
Well, I mean,
He has a drone that we almost lost because we drove it over to McDonald's. Remember when we were at your house and we put that
Yeah,
and we
I do.
lost it in the sky? We're like, where did it go?
Oh, it wasn't an FPV one.
No, it was one. I mean, like we have the controls, and he was showing me the new one. It was like the Mav 2,
yeah, the Mavic Air 2S is the one that I have.
and
now.
I become a drone guy. DJI released a new one
Oh, they're always releasing new ones.
7 days ago. It is the Mav Classic 3.
Really?
This thing has the nicest camera. Dude, this thing looks awesome. It's $15,000 though,
Nice.
Yeah.
or $1,500. $1,500.
Oh, I was gonna say 15 grand.
If you need any drone type of anything, especially FPV, did you talk with Miles last night at all?
I don't think so.
Dude, Treef FPV, but yeah, he does some crazy shit with drones.
I'm trying to get a FPV drone now too, because at our work we bought the mini drone SE
Yeah.
for like $200 to test it out. My boss crashed it last night.
You did?
Yeah, but I fixed it this morning. And I tested it and it still works. But that thing they kind of scare me. They go up in the sky, like it's kind of
Wow.
nerve wracking.
Yeah, I mean it is. Was that your first time ever with a drone? Was that your first like drone experience when you came over to the crib that one?
No, I like my old job. We used to fly. We had a Mav 2 that would
Okay.
fly around. But my boss mostly flew it because he loved it, and I
Yeah.
kind of tested it. But now with our new one,
Oh man, I think they're just so fun, man. I mean, I've always been into cameras. I've always been into all types of electronic products in general. You know,
Gadgets.
so I really like nerd out when it comes to that kind of stuff. I
but
mean,
this is a nerd-friendly environment.
yeah,
You look at all our gear
yeah,
everywhere.
I love it. I love it.
People don't realize producers are just computer nerds.
in recovery.
well, what I was gonna say about the Apple Watch though is that this is like the first step towards us becoming cyborgs.
I will take it one further. I have for my diabetes. Thanks God. I put a little wire in my body and it goes to my cell phone. And I can check my blood sugar on my phone. And I'm like, I am a real Android right now.
I got Matty's.
Yeah, that's really cool.
On there.
That's really cool. That
is cool exists. Though. That is cool though.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, how much benefit does that bring to your life?
I don't have to prick my fingers. My mom gets my stuff. Parm gets to see if I go low. He's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." My girlfriend has it.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Friend of the show. Shout out, Alana. I love you.
Friend of the show.
But yeah, the battery lives on those are badass, huh?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far, man. It's like 3 days.
Yeah, even the one that I have, which I think is like the 7, I want to say. Yeah, that the battery lasts like 16 hours.
Yeah, that's the one I upgraded from the 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got like the 3, I think, but I don't like to wear watches.
But I always have like these internal debates with myself about technology because I mean I love it so much, but at the same time, like I'm a firm believer that the singularity is coming. I don't know if you guys subscribe.
Okay,
to
Kurzweil.
Any of that philosophy?
Ray Kurzweil.
No,
he's the one that invented the term singularity.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm not familiar.
I'm not familiar with singularity.
Okay, so the singularity basically, and I'm not an expert by any means, so I don't even know if we should be bringing this up on this podcast.
Oh,
we should probably talk about music, but
no, Nate, we're gonna get a flat Earth, and then we're gonna get to music.
Yeah, we've got a couple segments lined up.
Yeah, we're still. Actually, this is a kind of a conspiracy podcast because we do talk.
Yeah, we talked about conspiracy theories with fucking GS5.
Nice. Dude, I love a good conspiracy theory.
Same, dude.
It's easy to go down the rabbit hole, but it's fun to like exercise your mind and talk about these like abstract concepts and just the idea of like what if, that's always been fun to me. But I don't take a lot of that stuff too seriously. But anyways, to answer your question, the singularity, from what I understand, is basically the idea of the moment or the time when technology becomes so smart and AI really becomes so smart and educated that they can replicate like human experiences so well that you as an actual human being can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not.
Yeah, we're in the uncanny valley, they call that right now, where it's like
there's already so much AI.
We can look at robots, but there's something's weird in their eyes. Like it's not quite there yet. Not quite Blade Runner.
Well, and it's crazy too because I think it was one of the podcasts that I was watching. It was a statistician, I want to say, that was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was saying that they've crunched the numbers, or I don't even know how they would make these types of calculations.
I think it was Lex Friedman talking about that.
Was it Lex Friedman?
Lex
it might have been.
Is the man.
I love him, dude. He's so sick.
He called out Kanye the other day.
Yeah,
did you watch that?
Dude, I watched the podcast with Kanye on it. Did you watch that?
Yeah,
one?
I watched it too.
Yeah, he got on his face about it, man. I thought it was a great conversation. Honestly,
it was good. Yeah,
and Lex was so.
He's
chill
like, you
the
just
whole
know.
time.
He was like, you're full of shit though, right? Just so like flat faced. He's like, but you know what you're saying is like you're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, here's the thing about Kanye, man. I mean, I've been so torn with this whole debacle that's been going down because I really
he's making a lot of sense. I'm joking.
Okay. Hashtag cancel Matty Ghost.
Cancel Matty Ghost.
No, I'm just joking.
I'm Jewish, so I'm like, come on, Kanye.
I mean,
like, come on.
Here's the thing. When it comes to cancel culture, I'm also a firm believer that like, you can only cancel yourself, really. I mean,
yeah,
people. I've watched the biggest celebrities just get canceled, or at least you would think that they would get canceled, and then a year, 2 years, 3 years goes by, or however much time, even a week goes by, and the news cycle changes, and
well, I think people are like realizing too that cancel culture got like way out of hand for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like like 2019.
Needs to come back because it's so much easier focusing on other people's problems instead of your own.
Yeah, dude. Why
That's
work
exactly. That is exactly right.
See, I can be smart.
Well, it had a lot to do with the way
Uncancel Matty Ghost. You're good now.
it had a lot. It had a lot to do with the way the algorithms were set up as well, too. You know, with Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that. You know, like. This is all leading up to the singularity. Like these social media platforms have so much influence over our lives, even for the people.
Fucking stupid algorithms, dude. It's insane.
Yeah, even for the people that don't use them, you know, like it still is going to affect you one way or another. Even if you've never downloaded the app, or even if you don't even have an account, like guess what? All the people around you
You get like secondhand algorithm if you don't.
Yeah, secondhand algorithm. Exactly, man. Yeah, so. I mean, all of that stuff, you know, cancel culture, I think it had a lot to do with the way that the algorithms were set up, and they were rewarding, you know, just that negativity, because they treat a comment or any kind of engagement as engagement, and it didn't really have, or it didn't seem like it necessarily had like a value one way or the other. Like it wasn't smart enough to know that this person is just on there talking shit or spamming or whatever. It's just, you know, all it knows is that this post had, you know, 1,000 comments, so we should serve it to all the people.
Yeah, exactly.
But because they don't want you to get off their platform, so they're just gonna like, oh,
they just
this works.
they hold you on.
Yeah, and it's interesting too how like TikTok,
dude, it's great. Like TikTok, like Instagram is one thing. TikTok is a whole other beast.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't even know a whole lot about it, to be honest.
So many, like I'll just be scrolling through TikTok, and like every video will have like 190,000 likes, and then the next one will have like 1.6 million. I'm like, what the fuck? How many people are on
jobs?
How many people are on this app?
Yeah, well, and I don't know a whole lot about it because I'm not really an expert TikTok user.
Yes, live on the pod.
What happened?
Scooby just punched him in the balls, dude.
Scooby just stepped straight on my nuts.
Scooby,
are you comfortable now, you fucker?
That's how you know he loves you.
Oh,
he's. I'm just reaching around out.
But
oh my god, good boy.
With TikTok, you know, it's so interesting how like, you know, they have a completely different version of it in China, but the version that we have here, it serves way different
and they
content.
Think that's why they want to ban it, is because in China the algorithm promotes education and like smart shit. And
And then, like, no, we got to keep America right where they're at right now.
Like, I just put an RB sandwich in my butt.
No, in America, the kind of stuff that pops off on TikTok is real tech housewives of Denver.
Yeah, literally, dude.
It deserves a yonk. I'll yonk to that, dude.
But
no, that's the truth.
Let's talk about Tech House, though.
Speaking of real tech house of Denver, so you made a song a while ago called Tequila.
Oh, yeah.
And this is an amazing story that the people need to hear.
Okay, we're going to do that.
Yeah, but before that, was that one of your first songs, or how'd you get into Ableton?
Okay, so this is kind of a long story, but
You're on a pod, dude.
Yeah, okay.
It's the place to do it.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, before I got into Ableton, I was, you know, DJing. Let's start from the beginning, I suppose. So when I went to college, I went to school for business, and mad respect to the people who do that and are doing well at school. But
yeah, shout out to the 1%.
I personally didn't really do all that well at school because I was like a super social person, and you know I was there for the wrong reasons, really. You know, when I went to CU Denver, and really like I had this messed up mentality about college of that it was like this amazing like party networking environment, and you know, I wasn't really there to learn. I was just there to have fun, to be honest with you, man. And anyways,
that's like literally half of the people that go to like college.
Listen, kids, do your homework.
Yeah. Any kids that are listening, for real, like if you're gonna go to college, I would say like don't go until you're ready to take it seriously, and you have like, if you have that mentality that I had when I was 18 years old, that you just want to party your life away, don't waste your money, man. Straight up.
Yeah, just don't waste.
Save that for your early 30s.
Yeah, well, and also I feel also like at this point too, like we're in a different world now. Like it's not like you have to go to. It's not like our parents' world where like you had to go to like a 4-year college and fucking. It was either you were 18 and you got like a job or you went to college.
Yeah,
and there's just different ways to like do life at this point. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if I would have like known, if I would have like gone like on a field trip in high school or some shit like that to the studio that I worked at for a couple years and like seen that, I would have been like, what the fuck, dude? Like, fuck college. I'm just gonna fucking do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
that's
for
important for people to know.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I mean, for me, especially like going to school for business, it was like, you know, a lot of the practices in business isn't really like things that you need to memorize. Like, I wish I would have gone to school for like music theory, or if I wanted to be a doctor, like those are the kind of things that school is really, really necessary for, like memorization and just like the practice
I'm
of
fucking so ass at
reading
music
and writing and mathematics, like all of those things. But you know, there's a lot of these off like genre topics, or not topics, but a lot of these like degrees that you would just be better off if you wanted to get into that industry. You would just be better off like becoming an intern or something like that.
I was literally the meme. I was getting a communications degree.
Yeah.
And halfway through, I was like, I haven't made music for 2 years. And also I cannot see myself sitting in a fucking PR firm.
Yeah.
Like fucking putting together a campaign with people. I was like, nah.
Yeah,
not happening.
We have this 19-year-old kid that works for me now, and he didn't go to school, but he's learning to edit for me. And I'm like, you're going to the University of Ghost, bro. Like, I'll teach you more than you'll ever learn in school.
State.
Yes.
Yeah, Ghost State University.
Yes.
Ghost State Community College.
That's awesome.
And you know, school, it, for some people, it's really good for them.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
And this is not to say anything bad about any of the schools. CU Denver is an amazing school.
Yeah, I've had tons of friends that went there. Yeah.
I went to Regis in Colorado Film School.
Yeah, I worked at Regis. Yeah, anyways, like, this is not to hate on any of the schools. Like, a school is absolutely necessary. I'm just saying, if you are passionate about something, especially if it's some sort of trade skill or some specific industry where people can give you real world experience, for some people, that could be more valuable than just sitting behind a desk and learning, or these days learning. I was going to say a book, but you're probably learning behind a laptop, you know?
Yeah, it's all probably like tablets at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's like these days.
Study, and they said like 73%, I might be botching the numbers, kids say they want to be YouTubers when they grow up.
Yeah, I've seen that.
73%?
Yeah. Dude,
holy fuck.
All want to be YouTubers.
Wow.
That's a lot
Like,
of
we're going to get a
YouTubers.
lot of Coke and Mentos waste.
Is that where our future is going, though? Like, if you, in this future...
That's crazy to think about, like, as in
I've
a
thought
shift
about it
in
a lot.
society. Like, nobody wants to do, like, the shit that actually, like, makes the world spin.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
no one wants to be a philanthropist.
Well, no,
Everyone
Maybe
wants-
not. Maybe not.
But that's not true, though. A lot of people do want to do those
Look at
things.
Mr. Beast. He's
but
doing big things.
But here's the thing, man. Our population is so huge now that there's just
almost
so
8
many
billion.
people. And not all those people like aspire to be a mathematic genius or the next like amazing writer or the next huge like life world changing programmer.
In fact, like, the majority.
The majority
to
of
be
people
honest.
just want to have a job and grow a family and get by and just live a life where they're not constantly working all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's like that's got look, my idea of success is just like having my bills paid and not having to like worry about anything with that. As long as if my bills are paid, I'm good.
I'm highly
Yeah.
unsuccessful. If that's a
I mean, we're working on it though. That's hot.
that's
I
how-
come to all of our shows.
That's that. That's
But
okay.
digress.
Sorry to
So
cut you off.
DJing in business school.
So
and you're like,
yeah,
this isn't working.
So yeah, going back to it. So I was in college for business at CU Denver, and during that time, I got an internship at a local blogging company called moboogie.net. I don't even think they're around anymore, but I basically just went down to the career fair or the career center thing that they had down there, and I was looking for a part-time job to make some extra cash, and I met these people that were running a music blog, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And they were like way ahead of the game, and that's the story of my life. Like every project that I've ever tried to do has always just been like way too early. Like the people just weren't ready for it yet. And sometimes that is probably why it wasn't successful with a lot of my ventures. But in particular, this company, MoBookie.net, was really crazy because they had done an interview with like these really big names. Like they interviewed one of the first interviews ever with Bass Nectar. And I mean, you know, his whole story.
Friend of the show? No, no. Okay, no, never mind.
Not a friend of the show.
No.
Bass Nectar is not my friend. I never met the guy, but he had a wildly successful music career. That's for sure. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, similar with Kanye, man. I feel similar to I feel very similar to Kanye the way that I feel about Bass Nectar right now, because you know there was some really.
Oh, I used to listen to so much Bass Nectar, especially back in high school when I was like a fucking like freshman, sophomore in high school. I was listening to fucking.
You had that elephant CD with the.
Oh
elephant
yeah,
front?
100%.
Yeah. I was never really like a Bass Nectar super fan. Like I have some friends that had like the full 9, the Bass Nectar tattoo.
Yeah, the tattoo.
You know, and
I see those and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, what are you gonna do now?
What are you gonna do?
Get a cover up, dude.
Get a cover up, yeah. Well, in whatever. But you know, there's something to that. You know, like there's really amazing art, and that has to be separate from the artist. You know, and I think that's important for us as a society to recognize, because you know, like Kanye West's music really influenced me musically, and like
Same.
I think a lot of people, yeah, absolutely.
in a very, very positive way, by the way. But you know, when it comes to politics and these other shenanigans that are going on, and with Bass Nectar, the story is completely different, obviously.
Right.
But you know, when it comes to politics and things like that, you know, it's something that I think he made some mistakes with his words, as we all do, right? I mean, I personally have said things that I didn't mean, or you know, just wasn't thinking, or I might have been intoxicated or whatever. But I think the reason that I burned the Yeezys is not because I wanted to piss any group of people off, or not because I wanted to really, you know, show my support for the Jewish community, which I do,
Friend of
by
the
the
show.
way. I mean, yeah, the Jews are the friends of the show.
The friends of the show.
absolutely.
My Hebrews.
Yeah,
Hebrews.
as are the Catholics and the Muslims and the evangelicals and the atheists
Some
and
of the
everybody else.
Catholics. I can say that I'm
All
Catholic.
friends of the show.
All friends of the show. But you know, the reason why I burned them is not for any of those political reasons whatsoever. The reason that I did it is because of art, you know, and I saw that story unfold with Kanye West and how successful he was with his designs, with his clothes, and his partnership with Adidas, and the success of the art and the music that he's made throughout history, and not just based on like Billboard numbers or the number of shoes that he sold, because there was a lot of success there.
Yeah, well, he's a billionaire.
Yeah, but
Not anymore.
but not because of those reasons,
True.
but because like it hit the music, especially not the clothes as much, but the music especially really like connected with me and influenced me at a young age, and it made me want to aspire to do music. It didn't make me aspire to want to be like Kanye West, but it made me want to learn, how are they making these chord progressions? How does somebody sit down and write lyrics? How, you know,
How do they hear it? Like,
drum machine work? How did he sample Daft Punk? Like, those are all the things that really, really inspired me, you know. And so to see him, you know, make those negative comments that he made, you know, I think it was a mistake, and you know, it is what it is. I don't really want to comment on it, to be honest with you. But the reason that I did that was because I wanted to express a feeling that I thought a lot of other people were having at the time. You know, a lot of people felt the same as me. I thought that, you know, like they're conflicted, you know, because on one hand you have this amazing art, and on the other hand you have this ideology and this political craziness, if you want to call it that, that is just like,
I mean, yeah.
pulling at each other.
I think he's
so
just
hard.
like a little crazy at this point too. Like you're not supposed to be like.
Oh yeah.
No human is supposed to be that famous. Like,
well, and I think
that's like a different like level.
yeah, that's got to do something.
You don't live a normal life.
Absolutely.
At that point.
No, you have completely different experiences. Not to mention, I mean, like, who knows what kind of drugs he was on? Like, let's be honest. I mean, they had him on. His album was called like Bipolar.
I'm bipolar, or some. It's awesome, or like.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my mind right now. But I mean, I'm sure of it, and I think he's even said that he was on something probably some sort of concoction of prescription
and that's
drugs.
What killed Michael Jackson.
Yes, exactly. But anyways, I think that kind of summarizes that whole story and why I did that. And I actually still have that piece of the burned Yeezys with the original box on the table, what I did it on. And, I was brainstorming some things that I could do with it. You know, some people had commented on my social media about, Balenciaga would pay more for this now. And I had one of my friends hit me up that was going to Art Basel, and he's like, are those still wearable? I want to wear them burned like that, And I was like,
that is fucking, I was literally thinking that. I was thinking that as soon as you said you kept them, I was like, bro, I can totally see those in like a glass case.
Yeah, put them in a resin, dude.
Well, and just so you know, I have no intention of selling them or making money off of it or anything. Yeah. But what I have been thinking about is some sort of way where I could put them on display, like as a legit art piece. And my thought process around it is something similar to like how Banksy did the street art. And I'm a little
putting it somewhere. And
yeah, and I'm not really like that bold as Banksy is, where I'm willing to break the law necessarily. Maybe if it was something that like littering or something that I could just get away with. But I've been in trouble with the law before, and that's not a fun road to go down. But yeah, so I won't say what it is that I particularly have in mind right now, but that's kind of where my thought process is going.
That's where you're leaning.
I think I'm just gonna post it up somewhere and just leave it there, and I'm gonna try to like glue the whole thing together where it's exactly the way it was, how I left it, and just kind of see how long it stays there and see how many people actually like look at it. And really the only intention is like, if you see it, like what thoughts does that bring to mind? Like, and my only intention,
I mean, that's like the intention of just like art in general. It's like how
exactly.
you interpret that.
Making them think.
Yeah, and think about these social issues, and think about the things that Kanye said, and why does that upset you, and think about the people that are supporting him. Why are they supporting him? And think about the people who are super pissed off at him. Why are they super pissed off? Like the why and the questions matter so much more to me than just the spaghetti that came out of his mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really stupid spaghetti.
Yeah, for sure.
Stupid Getty.
Anti-Semitic spaghetti.
Anti-Semitic spaghetti.
Yeah.
Maybe we should call it spaghetti.
Delicious.
It should be something else. What's the Jewish?
We don't really have spaghetti. Oh, kugel.
Kugel. Anti-Semitic
kugel. Kugel is like a... Kugel's like a noodle casserole kind of thing. I think that's the closest.
Shout out
There we go.
Yeah, shout out Kugel.
Kugel. Yeah. So anyways, we got
you
way
were
down in the
DJing.
rabbit hole again.
We get it. We keep going back in. I like it.
I love this kind of stuff, man. But yeah, so
when Ableton come in though.
So I was DJing and I got
to pee real quick. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. So I started DJing when I was in college, and I remember I bought this. I went on Craigslist, and I didn't know anything about turntables, but I always saw. I think it was A-Track. I saw A-Track and Q-Burt, and I always loved watching those videos on YouTube.
Yeah, A-Track rips
of the scratching. Yeah, and I saw that video of A-Track where he won the DMC when he was like 14 years old. And I always, from a very young age, way before college, I always wanted to be like a scratch DJ. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like that was the instrument that I wanted to play. So when I got into college and I started, working and had a little bit of money in my pocket, I went on Craigslist and I found a used pair of turntables. And I didn't know anything about turntables at the time. I just was like,
we're getting these bad boys.
Yeah, this looks like it'll work, So I went and got a couple records. I remember I had a Kanye or a Common album that had like a B-side with the acapellas and instrumentals. So this was back when Virgin Records was still on 16th Street Mall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I bought 2 copies of it so I could have one side with the instrumental and one side with the acapella, and I was just trying to
scratch it up.
Yeah, and so I bought this setup from Craigslist for like $50 for 2 turntables and a mixer, and the mixer was like a legit battle mixer, but the turntables, which I had no idea, they were belt drive turntables, which
so you couldn't do the
so if you know anything about direct drive versus belt drive is like it uses a belt to mechanically spin the records, and when you release it doesn't have the instant pickup.
Comeback, yeah.
It goes right, so you can't scratch with it at all. But I could beat match, so
nice.
So yeah, I started practicing beat matching, and then one of my dorm roommates had one singular CDJ. I don't know why he had one, but it was
which generation was it?
I don't remember. It was like the platter was black and the CDJ itself
CDJ
was silver.
Oh, it was like an 800.
800, I think it was an 800. Yeah, he had one of them, and I don't know why he didn't even DJ, but he had one for some reason. I think his parents just got it for him or something. And anyway, so I started hooking that CDJ up, and I was like, okay, now, because I couldn't afford to buy a bunch of vinyl records at the time, so I was like, okay, this is gonna let me play whatever song I want now. And then I got into Serato, which is like the evolutionary next step, where okay, now I can play whatever I want. I just got to get some direct drive.
You just got to get it from the internet
with the blank records, so you could play off of those.
Yeah, it's wild that homies were just
codes.
Carrying around huge like CD books.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yes,
the
I
huge
do.
Ass fucking CD things.
Yep,
oh, man.
Yep. Because the 850s or the 800s didn't take USBs. You had to use CDs.
They didn't even take them up until like the 900s. I think the 1000s, the like first like USB one.
Yeah. And so, anyways, so I started using Serato with my belt drive turntables in my dorm room, and then eventually I saved up enough money to get a set of Technique 1200s, and
nice.
And then I just went crazy, man. I just tried to play like whatever gig I could. I was playing my mom's graduation party. I was playing. I would have played at the roller skating rink if they would have offered it to me.
I played my first DJ gig ever was my own bar mitzvah, dude.
Nice,
high key.
That's dope. Yeah, I want to DJ at my wedding,
and it was on some old ass like Newmark CDJs, basically.
Yes,
dude. Yeah, I remember looking at those because when I was young, I used to go to the roller skating rink. And I remember that DJ that was there. He had one of those.
Yeah, they were like this big.
Yeah, they had like a little finger wheel on it. It wasn't like
yes, dude, exactly.
Yeah, and it had a bunch of
rack mounted.
You could. I don't even think you could really beat match with those, but you could do enough to like cue up the next.
All I know is there's a picture of me with like headphones in my parents' basement, like.
Nice. Yeah, so I just went nuts and I started DJing everywhere I could. I played like all my friends' house parties that I could, and dorm rooms galore, and my friends. I heard you guys talking about on one of the other podcasts. Who was it? What's it?
AP Amber?
Yeah, AP. Yeah, AP from 128. He was talking about Kyle Palmer, who's one of the talent buyer over there at Temple.
Yeah.
And so Kevin lived with Kyle Palmer.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't tell you guys about this. I wish you would have asked him, but you probably had no idea anyway. So, anyways, Kyle Palmer and a few other guys with Kevin all had a house on over by DU, and I remember the cross streets. It was like Mexico and High Street, I think.
That's like right over here.
We're on high
right over here. Yeah, like right where we were. But it was closer to DU, and so there was just parties nonstop over there, and there was actually 2 houses. The house where Kevin and Kyle lived together, that was like the second house. But anyways, like they would throw parties every single weekend, and some of them would just get wild, like.
I would love to see
150
back in the day,
people.
Kev.
Me too.
Yeah, 150 people, no joke, and yeah, it was some wild times, man. And so that's kind of how me and Kev and Kyle all know each other, because we grew up partying and doing college and all that stuff. And then I just kept going. I played so many house parties. I was like, okay, so what's the next step? I got to play like legit venues, but I wasn't 21 yet, so I couldn't actually play at any of the bars or any of the places that I wanted to, or that would let just like a normal DJ play at. Like my first goal was to like just DJ at bars. I never even thought of like legit venues and stuff like that. So anyways, I started, putting some feelers out there. I met some of the local promoters, and I started getting some gigs at some bars, and it was like mostly open format stuff where it was, just top 40s and hip hop and just general dance music and things like that. I remember I DJ'd at, there was a sushi bar. I don't know if it's still open in Denver. Maybe it is, over on 4th and Lincoln or 12th and Lincoln, called Opal Sushi. And I had a gig there through this guy named Ryan Dykstra, where I would go in there and I would DJ like deep house music all night long from like 8 p.m. to like 2 o'clock in the morning.
And just feed you sushi.
They would just feed me sushi.
That's not a bad deal, dude.
I like that.
Yeah, they would feed me sushi.
I would love to have that residency.
And a lot of these places, I was only 19 and 20 years old, and a lot of these places, like, they were just kind of like letting me be there even though I wasn't 21 yet. And so since I was there, the bartenders didn't really know that I was. They just assumed I was 21, so they would be bringing me drinks or
like sake.
Even some of the promoters would pay me with a bar tab, even though I was.
Oh, dude! I mean, I started playing shows when I was 14, and I was like fucking smoking Cervantes other side. My mom wanted to walk me in the first show. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
holding your hand.
Speaking of mom, so eventually I got to the point where I said, okay, I've played every bar in Denver and Fort Collins and Greeley that I possibly can. What's the next step? Well, now I want to like be an actual artist and play at like legit venues. So we had some success with a partner of mine back in the day. His name was Seth Abrams, and we randomly got the opportunity to throw a show at the Aggie Theater in Fort Collins. And Seth had lined it all up. He was friends with the owner, Scoo. I don't even know if Scoo owns that place anymore. But
Scoo.
Yeah, but the Aggie Theater is a legit like legend.
Oh yeah, the Aggie's dope.
Oh yeah,
I've seen shows there.
Yeah, and so
it's a big room too.
So our blog was, getting a decent amount of traffic for internet traffic back then, like nothing compared to what it is today. But so the name was gotbasemusic.com, and I was pretty much the only writer. I think RJ wrote some articles, and maybe we had one other person writing like music release articles, and people would just send us press releases, and we would pick and choose our favorite ones, and then we would, write up like what we thought about the song and stuff like that. But anyways, Seth Abrams, he got a word from the owner that they had a cancellation with some gig that was supposed to be there this one like Saturday night or Friday night. It was like
prime
time, right? And so I don't know if their flights got canceled or they couldn't make it or what, but for some reason Scoo said, why don't you guys come in and just like, I already have all my staff paid to be here, so if we can get anybody in here drinking alcohol, like it'll be less of a loss, right? So we're like, okay, let's do it. So Seth, he just put up on the billboard, on the marquee out front, got bass free show. And something about those 4 words. This is where
all of a sudden it just popped the fuck off.
Yeah, this is where I first got like my understanding or at least a little bit of intuition about how important branding is and all those kind of things, because something about those words just went crazy. Nobody knew who we really were. I mean, we had a decent little following, but it like something about the foot traffic and people seeing that sign, and we made a Facebook event page. This is when Facebook was so poppin'.
This is before our generation stopped using Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a Facebook event page, and so that definitely had a decent amount of traffic coming to it, and but it wasn't enough to do what happened that night.
Yeah,
and that night it was just like. You can't really say sold out on a free
packed
show,
out.
but it was completely at capacity. And I mean, we used to say sold out all the time, because what we would do is
that's what we said for Larimer.
Yeah.
Well, we would sell tickets to people that were under 21. So we would let anybody 21 and up in for free, and then anybody who was 18 and up would have to buy a ticket for like $5 or $10 or something like that. And it was just crazy, man. Like we had no headliners. It was just me and all my friends, Ricky, Kelly, who now goes by the DJ name Chuck Shadow. He lives out there in LA. He's signed to Night Bass.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing, man, and killing it, by the way. Shout out to Kelly, Chuck Shadow, and Ricky and Kevin and Seth Abrams. And there was a bunch of other guys, too. I can't just fire off their names off the top of my head, but those are the guys that kind of all were like the main. Oh, and Guam was a really good friend of mine too, which we lost touch by the over the years. He went off and did his thing working with his parents' company, but yeah, it was just something special, man. So that first one just went crazy, and Scoo was like, "What the fuck?" And he hated on electronic music so much. Like I remember one night we were going till like 2 a.m. and Scoo he would have a few drinks sometimes. And he just did not like the kind of music that we played, but he couldn't deny it because it was bringing him money, right? And
like, I guess I like it now.
Well, no, he was like so firm on it. Like he did not like electronic music, or we used to play like a lot of dubstep and like bass house and things like that. And I remember one night, Scoo got on the mic. It was probably close to closing time, probably like 1:30, between 1:30 and 2 a.m. And Scoo got on the mic over the music that we were playing, and he was all, faded. And I don't know if I was DJing or somebody else, but over the music, I just hear this fucking... Oh, what did he say?
This music sucks.
No. He got on the mic in front of house, like not even on the stage, in the mic in front of house, and he's just screaming over the music. Your pussy is close to your asshole, and your pussy is close to your asshole, and that's why it stinks.
Oh my God!
And like a fucking whole venue full of people.
To a whole venue full of people, and we're just like, what the hell?
We do not condone this behavior.
Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah. And so, things started going south with that whole relationship, and me and Seth Abrams kind of had a falling out. There was alcohol involved, and I got nothing but love for him, man. If Seth, if you're watching this, bro, like I love you, bro.
Friend of the show.
We had some great times together. I try not to hold grudges against anybody in my life, and so it is what it is. But anyways, we ended up going our separate ways, and then I took that model to Denver. So I took the numbers that we were doing at Aggie, and I went to Cervantes Masterpiece Ballroom, and I said, okay, guys, this is what we're doing up there. I think the same thing will work down here. Got bass free show. I basically just need a test venue for it. And they were super open to it. They're like, all right, let's give it a try. I mean, they were open to it, but they were open to it.
Cervantes is open to anything, pretty much.
They're open to anything because they
let me play there when I was 14.
Well, they make you sign a contract, bro. I mean, like they don't care. You sign your name on that contract, and the contract that I signed, which I've seen one recently from the EDM fam who was doing like an independent show there, and I advised Joe not to do it. I mean, I don't throw shows anymore, and I don't really have any desire to. It's just
stressful.
It's a very stressful, very difficult game, and I got mad respect for all the talent buyers out there and the promoters and the venue owners, because it is just like so cutthroat and very difficult. But anyways, the contract that I signed is like, I guaranteed them a certain amount of bar sales. I think it was like somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000, and that was for both sides, the main room and the other side. And they basically said, okay, you do whatever you want, bring in your production, hire all your DJs, do your own promotions, and you basically have the venue. We run the bar, and you can even run your own ticket sales. So speaking of moms, that show,
shout out moms.
I had my mom.
Yeah,
my mom was like the only person that I really trusted with money at that time, because most of the people in my life were just irresponsible, I would say. As I was, we all were. We were just partying so much. Like it was just so easy just to not really care about the important things in life that really matter. And anyway, so I had my mom running the tickets, and yeah, we just tried to do the exact same thing. We put Got Bass free show up on the marquee, and we printed a bunch of flyers, and we did a Facebook event page, and sure enough, it was just like, I don't
Massive.
know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was at capacity most of the night. I don't remember if that one was a complete sellout, but it was just like insane how packed it was regardless, you know. And so yeah, then we went to, I always wanted to play a beta, so after we did one, I think we did 2 at Cervantes.
That was back when beta was dope, dude.
Back when beta used to be so dope.
Beta used to be like one of the dopest clubs in the country, dude.
And if you don't know about that story with Brad Rollier and Beta Nightclub and Beatport, that's a really cool story. And I don't know if I should be the person to tell it, because, you know, I've only heard like rumors, and I've heard the story from other people. I never really knew Brad. I never had a really close relationship with him like that. So maybe you guys should try to get somebody on that. Maybe you could get Brad on. I've talked to him before. Maybe I could help you guys get him on here. But I mean, he is a real legit, like, in my eyes, like a historical figure, as is, you know, Ha and Nicole and Preston Douglas and a lot
Ha's Global Dance, right?
Ha is Global Dance, yeah. And his brother Al does crowd surf events. And so yeah, we'll get into that. So the next thing I did was I took the same business model to Beta, and I remember going to Preston Douglas, and I wore a all white suit because I wanted to impress him. And looking back on that, I was like, what the hell was I doing? You know, but
Mr. Worldwide, dude.
Yeah, all white suit. I had got it because I was in my cousin's wedding, and I was like, well, I was
gonna wear this.
I'm just gonna wear it. Yeah, like, and so yeah, shout out Fit Soda, by the way, the best soda on the market.
So dang, it's quenching my thirst right now.
Oh my God, I hit you guys up.
I love you, Bad Boss.
That's why I got you the.
Thank you.
I'll get you more now that I'm in the facility with the actual soda there.
Straight from the source.
Yeah,
dude.
thank you so much.
Sourced up.
It's so good. So anyways, I went to Beta, and I talked to Preston Douglas, who was booking Noise Fridays there, I believe. And so Noise Fridays was the night where they were doing all the more aggressive things. So Thursday nights they would have more of like the Bad Boy Bills and the John Digweeds, and I think Michael McRae. I don't remember, because I wasn't really involved with Beta like that. But it was before Lance came around. Preston was booking all the Fridays there, and they would have artists like I want to say Steve Aoki was there, Boys Noise.
Yeah, they get the big ones.
Yeah, like
then.
Skrillex and shit.
Yeah, Skrillex. Yeah, that
Party Favor.
And that night that they booked Skrillex there, I actually did another Got Bass free show at the Fox Theater in Boulder. So I had to miss that Skrillex show because I was throwing my own show that same night that sold out up there. And yeah, anyways, so I took the model to Beta, and Preston was like, well, look, man, I could see that you guys are doing numbers, but, and we'd be happy to do a bar guarantee with you. Cause I was so confident. I was like, look, I'll guarantee you like $13,000 in bar sales as long as I get to keep the tickets on the under 21s, you know? And, he was like, look, man, I would love to have you do it, but, you know, this is my night. And like all the nights that we do here, they're all kind of run by different promoters, and they all have their own plan. Like, you can't just come in here and just throw your own show. That's not how Beta works. And I was like, well, what if we did it on an off night? So he was like, I don't know about that. I'm like, look, I'm going to guarantee it. I will sign my name on the contract. If you guys don't make $13,000 in bar sales, then I'll make up the difference out of my own pocketbook. And so that's how I convinced him to let me do it. And they let me do Beta on a Wednesday night. And I remember it was like so stressful because it
sounds fucking stressful.
I wanted to DJ at Beta so badly because I had been there as a fan for so many nights where I just idolized it so much, you know, and I saw some of my favorite artists there. And that was like in that realm of like the level that I was at as a DJ, that was like the one venue that I had to like knock off my bucket list, you know, like to tell myself that I somehow made it.
Yeah.
You know? And so that was how I chose to go about doing it. And so here I am now promoting this Wednesday night. It was in March, right around spring break time, and we just did not. I started
did not hit.
Well, no, I started to lose confidence in myself because like everything was just like so stressful, and I just didn't really know, like, are people actually going to show up to this? Because the thing that I thought was that like people just go to beta regardless of who's playing there, which is not the case at all.
Yeah.
You know, people don't go to really to any venue just because, well, that's not true. They go to Lammer Lounge for sure.
Yeah, Lammer Lounge for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's only like,
shout out Lammer Lounge.
Shout out Lammer Lounge, friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
There's only so much of that you can reasonably rely on. You know, like you're not just going to have a sold out walk-up crowd for any venue, right? And so I started to get really nervous about it. And so and we were putting flyers everywhere. We were doing our same procedure on Facebook, and our Facebook was even bigger then, you know. And I was just still like, we used to go around and write signs on the sidewalk at CU Denver and around campus, and we'd put all the information about the event right there.
Nice.
So it was like a free billboard, you know. And yeah, I just wasn't sure because like there's no way to judge it, because with these free shows you don't really have like pre-sale tickets. People just wait till the last minute and come.
Just have RSVPs, which
Yeah.
is just like a
And so now I'm getting all nervous. I'm like, shoot, I don't even really have the money to pay this $13,000 bar guarantee. Like, what if this thing is just a complete flop? So at the last second, I decided to try to get an out-of-state headliner for it. And I booked an artist by the name of Jay Rabbit. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but
I remember hearing that name.
Yeah,
he was
a big dubstep producer. He had some really cool tracks that came out. Him and I actually got into a beef when Tequila came out, and we never spoke again. But and I can tell you guys that story too. Again, nothing but love for you, Jay Rabbit. If you're watching this, bro, like let the past be the past. But he actually had a remix of Tequila also, which is just as popular as mine, if not bigger. And I mean,
Some Baby Driver though.
It's not in Baby Driver, that's for sure. But you know, it was crazy that, you know, we both put out a similar remix right around the same time, and I put out mine first, and I was convinced that he like heard my version and
I could do that.
Said to himself, I could do it better or something like that. And looking back on it now, I was convinced at the time. Looking back to it now, I think we both just
parallel,
legit had the same idea, man. Yeah, I just happened to put it out first because
you guys both watch Pee Wee Herman at the same time. Or like, that's a banger, dude.
Well, no, but my inspiration for Tequila was not from Pee Wee Herman at all. It was so crazy to me to see everybody talking about Pee Wee Herman after it came out, because I had no fucking clue. I had no clue it was in that movie, man. Honestly,
I love Pee Wee.
The reason that I was into it was because of the Sandlot.
Oh yeah,
Sandlot was like my favorite movie as a kid.
They do the dips and barf.
Yeah, that was my favorite movie. And I remember when Carnage put out a track with Super Duper Kyle. It was called Silver Platter. I remember watching that YouTube video, and I was like, man, this is so cool, because in the music video, they remade the Sandlot scene where, you know, the scene where he's like, you play ball like a girl.
Yeah.
You know, and so they remade that scene where they were telling Carnage, like, your beats don't slap. You produce like a girl or something like that, right? And I was just like, man, this is so sick. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And it was probably like maybe a day or two later that I did the bootleg remix of Tequila. And I just threw it on the internet. Like probably a few days later, I just made it in my headphones, laying in bed, and it was like the one song that I put the least amount of effort into.
That's how it's done, dude.
That's how Odd Mob that singularity put out this summer. He's like, let me show you how I made this song that's like the #1 Beatport seller for the last fucking 4 months.
Yeah.
He's like, drums and bass line, hi-hats.
Yeah, there's a really good documentary on Vice that just came out a couple days ago too, about Afro Man and the song "Because I Got High."
Oh no way!
Oh damn!
Yeah,
I might have to sesh that after the pod.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, watch it. It's great. That track was just like, he said it was drums, a bass line, and like six vocal tracks, and that's it.
It's like an 8. It's just like doom, 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 doom.
Yeah. So, drum and bass.
The bong rip got to me.
Yeah,
I've always been a huge fan of drum and bass.
Me too. This is a new one.
Yeah. So, anyways, we booked J Rabbit to play at Beta Nightclub, and it was, I don't remember how much I spent on it, but it was a decent amount. I had to buy him flights and hotels and all that. And this was, I think, one of the first artists. This was like my very first introduction into working with the actual agency and booking out of state talent and doing that. And I really just pulled it as an audible because I wasn't confident that we actually had what it take to sell out Beta on a Wednesday night. And so when it came down to it, that Wednesday in March, I was so nervous. I remember, and as it just so happened, it turns probably like 5, 6 o'clock and the sun's going down and it's springtime and it just starts dumping, bro. It was just it was just raining. It wasn't snow, it was spring, but it was just raining so hard.
That's terrifying.
So hard. When it's raining,
when no one goes out.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh no. Like all the stars are just not aligning for this right now. And I was so nervous, but we just, the show must go on, and we had everything paid for, and people freaking came, man. And
yes.
it just went nuts again all over. It just went nuts. Everybody was there through the rain on a Wednesday. Like, it was just,
they wanted their bass, dude.
They wanted their bass. And
you got it, man.
And it had something to do too with yeah, that was always been the joke.
I just realized that. Free bass, dude.
But yeah,
Tweaker's like, I thought there was gonna be. I'm so
This is
confused
bullshit.
right now.
I don't know. What's dubstep?
It also had something to do with like bass music in general and dubstep becoming more and more popular. And shout out to Submission and Nicole for them really being the first ones to really do it.
Nicole's the one who kept booking me for shows when I was a little child, basically.
She's the real OG.
Started my whole ass career.
Yeah, she's the real OG in the bass music scene for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Going to that Scream show?
Snake Pit. No.
Scream is playing a 3-hour extended like OG dubstep set.
In the future? In the future?
Yeah, it's coming up in like a month, I think.
Okay, yeah, no. So I actually don't really hardly ever go to shows anymore, man. It's just, my time is just so.
I need to go to less shows.
I've been to so many shows. I've seen so many artists. I've thrown my own shows. Like that part of my life where it consumed me is just now. It's now over. I'm interested in DJing my own events, throwing my own shows, not promoting shows, but legit throwing my own shows where, I'm the headliner and I have full control over the production and the sound and everything.
We're trying to work something out like that kind of here in the future too.
Yeah.
Like our own after hours thing.
And we should do something together too, because I really love everything that you guys have been doing. And me and Matty actually have a work in progress together.
Yeah, we got to get Parm on that one.
I don't know if it'll ever come out, but even if we started something new, I'm always down.
Oh yeah, we're always down.
What one was it? Was
La Bamba.
La Bamba, yeah, dude. We have yeah, it's pretty sick though.
It's pretty sick. I like
still
it.
have the project file.
I just don't like the original sample because it's not the one that I want it to be.
Because we can't use that one.
We can't use that one because of the rights.
We can start something new.
Yeah, but yeah, we can
Give
start
us a list of the things that we can get out.
That's Vinnie.
That's Vinnie, dude. Vinnie's hot.
Oh, that's Vinnie. That's dope. Either way, yeah.
Either way.
All of our collabs have the words "that" and then whoever we're working with.
That's CJ.
Oh, I love that.
That's CJ.
Oh, I love that. That's sick. Yeah. So, anyways, then I took the business model to the Fox Theater, and then I started. From that experience, I started getting into more of like real talent buying, where I worked at Club Vinyl as like an assistant talent buyer, sort of, with Johnny Schumann over there, and I booked a bunch of acts for their first plays and at Vinyl, and then the venue where Nicole had originally started, the Snake Pit, became Beauty Bar at the time,
and now it's your mom's house.
Now it's your mom's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No way.
but when it was
right down the street from the Black Box.
I used to go to the Beauty Bar in college all the time.
Yeah,
I love that place.
I remember dude.
Beauty Bar was dope.
It was so sick.
I remember driving by Beauty Bar like back in the day.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah. Anyways, so at the Beauty Bar, I booked Dylan Francis to come to his first Colorado play ever. And this is when like his only first tracks were out were like Moombaton, and it was so unique.
Oh, that was so gas.
It was so unique and so fire, dude. And I was like, this guy's gonna
I don't
be
give a fuck or
huge.
shit.
Yeah. I was like, this guy's gonna be huge, and nobody really knew it. Like I said, I was always just too early. You know, like I booked him to come play at Out of State Gig, and no one
at Beauty Bar
in Denver, where no one at the time, like Moombaton was not a popular genre here, but I was like, I don't care. Like
I have a sick Moombaton playlist, dude.
Yeah,
really?
I do.
Send me that shit.
I will.
And maybe it's popular here now, but back then there was not an audience in Colorado for it at all. Maybe in like San Diego and some parts of LA.
I wouldn't even say there's like an audience for it now.
No, not at all.
Well, anyways, so yeah, I booked Dylan Francis. I booked Carnage for his first show ever. There's a video on YouTube of Carnage shouting out K-Mac, you know, it's talking about how, and now Carnage is now Gordo.
Yeah.
And he, you know, I booked a lot of these guys, Andy Serum,
Fatty Tech House, dude.
Yeah.
That was a bad joke.
Fatty Tech House.
That's what Gordo. That's what Gordo means in Spanish, bro. Trust me.
Wait, no, Gordo is handsome.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not Fatty Tech House.
I thought handsome was guapo.
Guapo.
Oh yeah, it is guapo. What is Gordo?
Gordo is fat.
It's fat.
Yeah, I think it is.
Literally
It is
fat.
That's awesome.
Fatty Tech House. Yeah, Fat Tech House.
You did it to yourself, Gordo.
I should have known that. But anyways, yeah. So you know, booking all those guys kind of got me into like that whole scene, and then eventually I met Haw's brother. He was running crowd surf events, and he came to me because I was booking all the trap artists at the time that were like the new and up and coming guys. Okay, Candy Jones, Carnage, people like that.
Did you ever book
Brills?
the one? What was
Who is now
Dream.
Ellis?
Did you ever book Loud Pack?
I booked.
Yeah, dude. Kenny and Ryan, dude, they're the old homies from LA.
Yeah.
Kenny,
So I have a bad story with Loud Pack. I feel like I kind of ruined my relationship with them because I booked them the same night that Global Dance Festival was going on. I booked them to play Vinyl because they forced me to. Vinyl, you know, this like my night.
That's when you were booking at Vinyl still.
Yeah, my night was on that night, and they had to have something going. Doesn't matter if Global's going on. We have to have something competing, and I always wanted to book Loud Pack because they were so fire, bro.
Yeah, dude.
And so yeah, I booked them to come the same night as Global, and it was just like a terrible turnout
off night
because everybody was at Red Rocks, man. And yeah, so I felt bad about that. But then we played another show together with Carnage, I think, at what's now the Exto Center. But yeah, they were always so sick. And so anyways, I kind of had this history of like, you know, building the trap scene in Denver, and like our whole model, our brand was bass life, and the slogan was like hip hop plus bass music is the future. And you know, I was just like pushing that message super hard, and eventually How wanted to throw a new festival called Trap Fest. And
I went there.
Yeah,
Trap Fest.
And he called me one day randomly and introduced himself
at City Hall.
Yeah, we talked on the phone. He's like, "What do you think about this idea?" I was like, "Dude, I love it. Let's do it." He's like, "Okay, well, I want to bring you on as to help promote it because you're like, you know, involved with all of these types of artists already." And who was the first one? I think the first one was Bro Safari was the headline.
And Trapzilla too.
Trapzilla's Bro Safari.
Because I saw Trapzilla there. Then I played a show in LA with him. I was like, bro, my first big show was your show.
Yeah. And dude, it was at City Hall Amphitheater, which is now Temple. And
I remember. Oh man, I used to go to the Pristine events shows there when I was in high school.
That was Al's thing too, Pristine.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I used to go to those
Because-
when I was fucking like 14 and just like grind with girls.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I
That's so
I
funny.
think they're still doing them. I don't know.
They still do those?
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
It wasn't as lit as when I was in fucking high school.
Well, that's where Paws Austin. That's where he kind of got started too, because he was DJing all those Pristine shows. So, anyways, so yeah, Al threw Trap Fest, and it was just a major success. And I think that first year, at City Hall, he had me run the second stage. So we had the second stage that was all local talent, and he was like, I want you to run that stage, and you can just put all your local guys on it, whoever you want to put on, and you just run like the lineups and make sure that the music is good up there. And I was like, sounds good to me. So I kind of attached myself to his brand, and because I was just enjoying it. I was always just doing it for fun. I never really saw a big, huge paycheck at the end of it, which I wish I would have thought about it more business savvy like that back then. But it is what it is.
Shouldn't have partied in school so much, dude.
I don't have any regrets, man. I don't have
No
any
regrets, dude.
Yeah. And there was several trap fests. We went to El Paso. Al invited me to DJ that one. He did one in Albuquerque. He did several, but those were the two out of state
the big ones.
Yeah, the two big out of state ones that I played. And then it was, I was just super involved with that party life, man. It was just nonstop. I remember, when we went to El Paso, I invited a bunch of people back to my hotel room, and we stayed up until,
the sun came up.
The sun came up. I was talking to the concierge at the hotel, like begging him to open
I'm
up
going
the
to Vegas
pool
this
early.
weekend, so
Yeah.
that's about to be me.
Yeah, that was my thing, dude. Like, I just wanted everybody to have a good time. So, I went down to the concierge and I was like, can you just open the pool for us, please? He's like, sir, it's only 7 a.m. and the pool doesn't open till 10. I'm like,
We
please.
just want to swim.
Yeah.
It's actually a good transition to the final segment.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're
Sorry,
talking-
we're running long.
No, this is we're hitting max time
Oh,
for
shit.
this.
Okay, yeah.
But in the final segment, it's called the ear break, and we want to promote like the healthy lifestyle of you don't have to be producing all the time, you don't have to be partying all the time.
That's right.
What does Vinny do to unwind away from the computer?
Okay, so I work out, and
And you look great, by the way, dude.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've lost 90 pounds.
Yeah, dude, congratulations, man.
Thank you. It's been a lot of work and self-discipline, and that's where the whole concept behind Nah came from. Obviously the song came first, but then, as I was thinking about it and putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, I was like, wow, this song has so much more meaning to my life than I even realized at first. And, so I like to work out. I like to snowboard. I like to paddleboard. Spending time with my fiance Taja is
Friend
the
of the show.
best. Yeah. As far as health goes, I mean, that's pretty much what I do. Just diet and exercise.
You meal prep like every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday I'd meal prep.
Maddie and I are about to hop on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should.
What's your how do you go about a meal prep?
Okay, yeah, so it's really not that difficult. What you do is you go to Costco or wherever you want, but you got to get yourself some chicken breasts or chicken thighs, any kind of chicken or whatever kind of protein you want, really. But
Chicken, rice, and veggies.
yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I do chicken, I do ground beef, and veggies and rice. So I'll start it off with jasmine rice. That goes in, takes 15 minutes to cook. Then I chop up all the chicken, chop up all the veggies. I do onions, peppers, mushrooms, sometimes broccoli, and sometimes I'll throw other things in there like Pueblo green chili from my cousin's Muso farm.
dang.
Stuff like that. And you could mix it up however you want, but then I cut up the chicken, I mash up all the spices, garlic powder, onion powder. In the ground beef, I put Worcestershire sauce,
Worcestershire
salt and pepper and olive oil, baby. And once you got everything just chopped up in your different bowls, you just take it and throw it on the stove. Or I have a big flat top grill that I use that has been the most amazing investment ever. It runs on propane.
My homie just got one of those too. Yeah. What's the brand again?
Blackstone.
Yeah. I got the
Dude,
Blackstone.
I
I got the
highly-
Blackstone and the Traeger.
Like a taco cooker
Yeah, it's
on
like
the
just a
street.
straight, like, flat
it's just
top.
a flat
Sick.
top. Yeah, dude, I promise you, if you get one, you will love it. My cousin Alonzo put me onto it. He was like, dude, we got one of these and it is so sick. And I was hooked.
I want a Traeger so bad.
Oh,
dude.
Traegers are great too. Yeah, but that's the
so
thing
bad.
about Blackstone though. You cannot cook a good steak on it. I mean, it's a flat top.
no?
grill. No. I mean, no,
Not like hibachi style.
no, man. You need the flame. You need that flame.
Yeah, true.
kissed
That's true.
For the
I just
steak.
got really
man.
thin slices. These
Yeah,
are
that's
like-
what you can do, and they do sell like the super thin sliced New York strip steaks at Costco.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do
You
for
make
steak
like
now.
Philly steaks or something. Like
Yep, yeah, and once you get those thin strips, you just put them on the grill for like 2 minutes, and they're done.
And
And then
flip 'em.
you take one of those little scrapers, and you just chop it up into like real fine
Oh,
steak
yes.
pieces, and you got a Philly cheesesteak.
Kinda
Have some
getting hungry.
onions, some provolone.
I'm absolutely making a pizza after this.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of meal prep,
So,
we have a pizza in the fridge, dude,
Yeah.
waiting for us.
And then you just take everything off and you put it in your Tupperware and then throw it in the fridge, and you're good all week, man. It's the easiest
Damn.
way to lose weight, I swear.
I wanna
And
do
to
that.
save money too, also.
Oh, yeah.
Because I spend so much fucking money eating out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and honestly, the majority of the weight that I lost leading up to meal prepping, because when I was losing the most amount of weight, I wasn't even meal prepping yet. I didn't get into that until way later.
Did you
like-
do any like sort of diet or anything?
Yeah, I did. Not a specific diet. Like, if anything, it was probably closer to keto than anything else. But I never got like, because with keto, it's really you have to be really particular about it. You need to like measure.
Yeah, because you still need
ketones.
carbs like to survive, right?
No, I don't think.
No?
I don't think you need carbs to survive.
Or wait, is keto like zero carb?
It's very low carb.
It's low carb.
Yeah.
Low
And that's what I did. I did very low carb. I didn't do zero
That's
carb.
the diabetes diet too.
Yeah, and man, it
Yeah,
like
because carbs would affect my blood sugar.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right.
It- So basically, the concept of it is that you start getting your energy from fat instead of getting your energy from carbs.
And it burns the fat off. Huh?
Yeah, and I still kind of subscribe to that, but when I was first on my weight loss journey, I wasn't working out. I was just working and sitting at a desk and being still the majority of my life. So because I had to get myself in the mentality first to get into some sort of groove, because I've been so inactive for so many years. You can't just, it's not like something you just
Yeah,
turn
it's
on.
not good for your brain.
You got to work at it.
I
And-
walk like 4 or 5 miles a day with this homie. It's like definitely like keeps me fucking.
Yeah, that's great.
That's the bulk of my fitness right now. I'd like to start working out more, but still, just like something to get out.
Yeah, just
Fucking-
getting that blood flowing, man, is so great. But yeah, so low carb, and now that I'm in the gym, I'm eating carbs again. I'm still like limiting my carbs. I don't really eat a lot of sugary foods or
Yeah, just the rice is
sugary
the only
drink.
carbs, and it's not complex like bread.
Yeah, well, no, you want complex carbs. So you want like my two main carbs that I go to is rice and sweet potatoes. I love both
Love
of
sweet
those.
potatoes.
Yeah, they're so good for energy. And when I switched back to eating carbs again, when I was in the gym, like instantly, like within the next day, my workouts just turned into something else.
You
And
just had like naturally
realized-
just more energy.
yeah, I realized I had no like physical energy, because you really do need that for like lifting weights and resistance training, but you don't need carbs for like just straight up losing body fat percentage, so that's
Would you recommend, like, if someone wanted to lose weight, start with the food and then go into exercise?
yeah, absolutely. It's I would say it's 80% food, 20% exercise. Now, that's for losing weight. If you
I
want
just want to get ripped, dude.
if you want to get
I
ripped,
want to look like
yoked?
Ryan Gosling.
yeah, if you want to get ripped, it's probably I
You
don't
eat a
know.
lot.
I've never been ripped, and so you guys should.
You're on
you
your
should
way,
ask,
though.
You should
Gotta
ask
ask
him.
Visional.
You should
We
ask
did.
him. Yeah.
No, I think I actually might start lifting with him. We talked about it.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah.
Me and him go work out every once in a while together. He's a beast, man. But he's been doing it like since we were in high school. Like he's been doing it the whole time. I just
you
started.
can tell. He's
Yeah.
a fucking specimen.
Yeah, he's insane, dude. He's a machine.
He's handsome Squidward, dude.
But yeah, I would say for like bulking,
That
it's
is fucking
probably
hilarious.
it's probably either closer to 50-50 diet and exercise, or maybe even flip flop, like more heavy on the
Because you have to eat a
resistance training.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to eat a lot. You need to like have
Because you're
that
burning
protein
so much off.
to build muscle. Yeah.
Yo, is Base Block coming back?
Yeah, so I mean, I say yeah, but we want to bring it back for sure. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about because
Just waiting for that next pandemic, dog.
waiting for the-
no,
He's
no,
waiting
we
for
don't,
that studio to get built,
no,
dude.
we don't need a pandemic. As a matter of fact,
jokes.
streaming is more popular than ever, even more popular than it was during the pandemic. What we just need is we need a legit place to house all of my equipment because I think K-Mac told you guys that we shared my garage with my fiance Taja, who's a photographer, and she uses that for her business. And so we were having to tear down all the equipment and set it up every time, and that caused so many headaches because, as you guys know, like with the cameras and everything, like once you set it, you don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So imagine having to set up all of this every single episode.
I do.
Just the camera.
No, but I mean like
Yeah, but
literally
you
your
have a lot.
computer,
That's so much,
CDJs, all the sound, getting the sound dialed in, getting the cameras dialed in because all the settings are always different. And like what we need is we just need a legit place where I can just leave everything there and just set it and forget it, and then the artists just walk in and go. So
Yeah.
we're looking for that spot. If somebody out there knows where that spot is, I mean, I'm willing to put a little bit of money on like rent or something, or collaborate with somebody on a place like that. Definitely needs to be under lock and key because the equipment is very expensive.
It's Rex.
But that's what I really need right now for us to get Base Block up and running again. And we plan to do it. I know it's eventually going to happen. I know one of my connects out there or one of my contacts has this perfect place that I'm imagining in my head. But if not, it's just a matter of time until I can just, you save up some of my own personal
studio
money
space.
and just do it, so.
Yeah, that's how we're feeling with our afters sort of thing too. Just got to be the right time, right spot.
Yeah, for sure. And there's no need to rush it, man. I mean, when we do it, we're going to make sure it's right,
Right.
That was also one of the lessons I learned throughout my life, just rushing into things was just not so good. It didn't always work out for me. And that's kind of really the whole meaning behind nah too, is you can't just say yes to everything. You got to say no, hold off, be patient,
Power of saying no is a very
Say
Slept
nah.
on.
Say nah.
Pardon me.
Power
Say
of nah, dude.
Yeah, nah.
Hell no.
Yeah. So that the nah has such a huge meaning in my life, and I'd love to go on more about it, but I know we're at time. So
I mean, we got a little more time. This might be the longest pod we've ever done, though.
I think so.
It definitely is.
well, I mean, I don't. I think I'm
We're
gonna
wrap this up in with you.
Well,
you can find Nah. You can stream it. You can.
Yeah.
It's Vinnie not
Vinnie, not Vinnie. VINNIE, not VINNY
on Insta.
on Insta, on everywhere. And yeah, you can stream nah everywhere. And yeah, the one thing that I wanted to wrap this podcast up with,
Give us some
I
gold,
know
baby.
you guys probably have a pre-made outro, but I saw this on another podcast and I thought it was a really cool idea where at the very end, the guest has a question, not knowing who the next guest is going to be. And the next guest has no idea where the question came from. But I want to leave you guys with a question to ask whoever
the
that
next
is.
one?
Yeah.
We got Colby
We got
coming
Colby.
in next
No,
week.
don't tell me. No, okay. Yeah.
No, save it for a different guest.
he's another week, but yeah.
And I don't even know who that is. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my question to whoever the next guest is. What is your earliest childhood memory?
All right.
Damn,
So
that's
you
deep.
guys have to ask them that, and then
I just started trying to think about what my earliest childhood memory was. Damn.
yeah, and then I think it would be sick if you guys picked this practice up. Like now on your next
I do
guest,
kind of like that idea.
Yeah, that's
have him answer that at the end as like the outro, and then have him ask the next person.
Now it's time
a
for our
question.
second final
Yeah,
segment.
we'll call it Vinny's final question.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't take credit for it.
Question from the past.
I didn't come up with the idea. It was shout out to this guy. I just watched the Black Coffee interview with Stephen Belay. If you know who that is, he's a South African guy on YouTube, and he does some really awesome interviews, man. And the last one that I just watched was the one he did with Black Coffee, and man, that guy's story is so cool. It's super inspirational, and
He's fucking dope as fuck.
yeah, they did that idea on that podcast, and I thought it was so cool. I was literally listening to it. And
I
I'm
gotta
like,
listen to that because I fucking love black coffee.
oh, dude, he's amazing. So yeah, I don't know. I thought you guys might be
Yeah,
able to
love that.
steal that
Thank
one
you.
from him. Yeah.
Any final wisdom of Nah that you want to share though?
Final wisdom of nah.
Nostradamus.
Nah.
I have a single coming out with Kayla Ray, the R&B artist. She's amazing. I'd love to preview it for you guys, but we can't right now. She is, we're working out the contract details because her next single has like a 3-month radius clause around it. So since she's a feature on my original track, we're trying to figure out if the contract is worded correctly since she's not the primary artist.
Just be like feet.
We can, yeah, she is a feature on my track. That's the way it is, but we're not sure if we can release my track within that time. So if we can, it's going to just kind of slip through and come out early before her single does, or we might just have to wait. So that's the next single that's coming out.
We'll keep an eye out for it.
I'm going to put an interview that goes into a lot more specific details about Nah and what it means to me. So we'll just leave you guys with that. I hope you come over to my YouTube later and watch that video.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the descript.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know when it drops.
Dude, Vinny,
yeah, dude.
thank you for joining us,
thank
bro.
you for coming on, brother.
was
Thank you
awesome.
guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm grateful to be here.
Fucking killing the game, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Love you guys, man.
Thank you.